of applause to them. Stage is all yours, guys.
Hello everyone. Hi, myself Sachin, and we are from the MCube, and we're going to be showcasing you our product, which is an immersive metaverse experience marketplace. And before we could go more into discussing why we created this, let's discuss on what are the potential problems artists face when they want to create their own collection or showcase their own artwork, either using the web platform as web or even in the metaverse. So the first thing is there's a lot of disconnect between the artist and fan. They're not able to truly showcase what kind of innovative architecture and art they're creating. Second is lack of one-stop shop. So there are a lot of plug-and-play components that need to be connected in tandem to kind of create your smart contract, to creating to creating a marketplace, and creating an indexer, gateway, web app, and the metaverse all in together. So there's a lot of hassle that they need to get to. There are also certain solutions, but it's a lot of centralization that comes into that particular space. So what we're trying to do here is creating all of these solutions in a decentralized way, and I'm going to be asking Sridhar to talk about it.
Yeah, so like he said, the problem is twofold. One is there is a lack of connect between artists and fans, and whatever existing platforms are there, they are mostly centralized. So you can take OpenSea as an example, or various other applications are still run more or less like a centralized monopoly of sorts. So we are looking into the solution here. So this is MCube is nothing but a metaverse marketplace. So we provide an easy interface for artists to showcase their art, and we want to focus on local artists and provide them a global platform. We have met a lot of local artists around here the last year or so, especially in India, and there is lack of exposure, lack of education on what needs to be done. They're pretty adept at what they do. However, it's become a huge hassle for them to showcase their art and sell it. So we are providing an easy interface for that. So like I already covered, we are targeting local artists, and we're trying to go for a global outreach. And we're trying to build a platform agnostic multi-chain team here. So this is where Dojima comes into picture. So even more experienced Web3 folks have trouble bridging or connecting to multi-chains. So most of them build it on Ethereum or Solana, and there's a huge problem. There's a barrier which Dojima is trying to solve, and we are trying to leverage Dojima network to help them with cross-functional capabilities. Yeah. So I'll just cover the features real quick. So number one is, the whole advantage of Metaverse is that it provides you with an immersive experience. So you can be more, connected and intimate with your artist and fan. So then you have cross-chain interoperability. So like I already covered, this connects people who are only building on one chain, and we're trying to build a multi-chain solution. And as for the revenue stream, so the traditional, let's take the music concert industry or the art industry, they're still getting used to the decentralized way of doing things. So this will create a whole new revenue stream for them when they build on this. This is another mechanism where people who are not able to join in real life or physically will be able to join through the metaverse. And that is one of the main reasons of building the museum. So the future scopes to add live events, music collection and arts, public and private channel, private concerts, and public showcasing of art. So we already know live events, there are a lot of limitations when there is a physical event in place. Not just in terms of ticketing, but there's a lot of venue and other hassles as well. So one of the main core reasons of having Metaverse is that you can mingle with others in concerts and many other live events, like as if you were right there. We already seen an explosion of global concerts happening on the Metaverse. And so another concept of museum is, even if there are no live concerts, there is already a collection of music or art, in that particular museum. We will showcase this a bit later. So that's the general idea, where we can explore the art scene. So we are trying to build something in the future where we'll have a public and a private channel. This is specifically to reward genuine fans or true fans. So we can have a public channel, public showcase. We can also, some artists can choose private. So if they want a very intimate event, or they want only select people to be there, like a join-in mechanism. We're going to build that in the private way as well. So we're giving multiple options for artists to build in the near future. So these are the main scopes for the future, and this is what our idea is. I will pass it on to Sachindra because we're going to cover the tech stacks and then the demo.
So yeah, so before we get into tech stack, the advantages are quite a lot in that aspect. So one would be, since everything is happening over the NFTs, so it's a composable. So users don't have to only rely on one particular platform to kind of like showcase their art, so it can be across multiple platforms as well. And the second thing is like you can of course build things upon on top of this, because these are of course cross-chain by default. Platform agnostic comes by default, and of course you can engage all of these APIs or existing functionality into other environments as well, like could be a game asset as well. And going on to the next, which is the specification. So of course we are using the NFT component integrated with an XR Android application. So all of this basically gets packaged in the two ways. So we have like custom scripts that works in tandem with the dApp integration. So we have got an API which allows you to send transactions to the particular RPC node, and you'll be able to like interact with the smart contract directly, buy NFTs, showcase NFTs, and Unity packages. And of course you have the .NET framework for the VR component. And of course right now we are showing only for Oculus, but it could be cross-compiled for iOS, Android, mobile native applications, WebGL, so you can run it on browser, and a lot more different devices as well.
So yeah, I'm Sam by the way. So the main advantage of this is we can have the same application deployed on web using a concept called WebGL, and we can also have it in AR with the same application. And all of this, our SDK is able to integrate it.
And of course, coming back to the next one, so we want to kind of like tell how this basically encompasses the whole idea of Web3. So you start from a very nascent point, like deploying a smart contract, and in the end you don't have just your web-based of marketplace, but also have a metaverse in this. So come on, let's go on to the demo. The idea is that you could go near the art. So when you're in the VR experience, you can always go near to a particular image, and you will see that this is by certain artist with a wallet address, and you can always like click on the buy an NFT button, and the NFT will basically be implemented in your wallet. So this is just to kind of give you a proof of concept as to how you would deploy an NFT marketplace, but rather than having the interaction over the web, you have the interaction over the VR. And since this is also connected to minutes, so these transactions are contract for. So 47 seconds ago, we just bought an NFT, which was already minted. Just open a new browser. The entire thing is on open source. So what happens is like the user onboarding takes place right from selecting the smart contract immediately. Yeah. So this is the GitHub org where all of our information is stored, and this is the contract, this is the gateway, and this is the web app. So you can also see this as a web app, and all the contract basically supports multiple EVM chains. So we are trying to add a option to deploy these contracts specifically for Dojima chain, and have multiple chain contract calls happening between two chains as well, using the Dojima layer 1 solution, the marketplace and the storefront that you create. So your storefront could become a museum, or it could become your own NFT collection. It could even be a live event that you would want to host on a separate. So currently in the metaverse, we only have one theme, which is of a museum, but we want to add more themes so that your artwork could be represented in different fashion altogether. So that was it. Unless you have any questions.
It was a very nice presentation. I have like 3 counter questions.
Yeah.
Like, I would like to know, like, are you guys also solving AR in Unity place? Augmented reality.
Yes.
Yes, and can you explain a little bit, like,
Okay.
information?
Yeah. So AR you can use to interact with the real world. So you can consider this as an example. Say an artist. I'm an artist living in Bangalore, and say I have some art in this museum, and I want to display my art in a physical museum, in the art museum which is in Bangalore. So I can create sort of an event where limited time you can just go scan the actual exhibits that are there in the museum, and you will be able to see my art there. and you can straight away buy it. So you will have a similar interface. You just go to the physical museum, click, say if you like an art, you just click it and you will buy it. Yeah, basically using a mobile phone. Not you don't need to have a Oculus Quest.
So basically, we developed Dr. Batra applications for virtual platforms. So in that platform, we try to integrate all the features of AR or maybe you'd say VR features using .NET technology. So may I know like what are the difficulties you found for if you are developing this application? What are the main difficulties you are finding right now?
So difficulties as in technical
Technical terms.
Okay, yeah. One thing which is generally difficult is content, preparing AR specific content in AR. You need a lot of skill set for it. Say you need a 3D artist to work on the 3D models, and you need a graphic designer to make it look good. You also need a coder to make it work. If you're doing it, So, but having this generalized platform helps because you can. We are trying to make 3D models supported as well. So it's something that you can only do it in VR or AR. So that's the real difficulty here is making AR and VR only experiences. Like something you cannot get anywhere else. So that's where I think challenge and opportunity lies.
And the other issue here, while we face while working on this, is like you need to be able to interact with blockchain. So that means that your private key needs to be so you need to have like a button where you could like connect. But again, wallet connect and all those features won't work. Right? So either you are left with a custodial wallet, which is for this POC we can of course go with, but you can also use this MPC multi-party computation where your private key is generated using decentralized mode. So Web3 Auth and Arcana are other solutions which offer this. So your private key would directly in a decentralized way come to the VR or AR meta experience, and then you could use that to interact with blockchain-based assets. So that was another issue, which is the problem is like the SDKs aren't as available as opposed to in JavaScript or in Go or in Rust. So for Unity, there are very fewer SDKs that you could connect to a blockchain RPC node and then assign those on it. So you'll have to go through a centralized gateway of some sorts. So you usually have to trust your gateway for the time being.
Thank you. I have last question how you maintain cross platforms you are showing VR things. How you maintain multiple we have multiple browsers, multiple mobile devices. How you support that all kind of things.
So basically, Unity is a technology which supports multiple games.
Basically, my question comes to responsive kind of thing, how you maintain responsiveness in all the devices.
Yeah, so that's the beauty of our project here. So the thing is everything is happening here is responsive, which means it's taking the correct state from the network. It is not taking in there are no pre-model assets that you get to interact with. So whatever is created and defined on the blockchain spec, like smart contract showcases that, you get it here. So technically what happens is your smart contract will have an indexer. So there will be a GraphQL endpoint that using REST you will be able to listen to. You will be able to get the current state of the entire smart contract or of the network itself.
We don't discuss about TM, so we have to discuss about only the responsive kind of thing.
Right.
How you maintain responsive in mobile as well as desktop devices.
So that is Unity. So what we
Yeah. Basically, you just need to. It has you have multi-platform capability inbuilt in Unity itself. So Unity, a lot of people use it for making normal desktop games. You can even build TV applications. You can build web games. You can even build iOS applications. So it has basically the core functionality and the interface of our application will remain the same. Only thing that will differ is the bridging between the input that we are giving into the system and getting the input and displaying it. So that is the only real challenging part, is making it supported by multiple devices. Just the interface level.
Thank you so much.
Yeah,
I
sure.
really appreciate that one.
Is it only one person can enter the museum, like whatever you are showcasing?
One person, as in you're talking whether it's a single player experience or multiplayer
Yes.
experience, right?
Yeah.
Right now it's just a single player, but you can actually create multiplayer experience really easy. There are a lot of SDKs in Unity which does it. It's like pretty standard built into platform. So you can use your own custom one, and you can use something like Photon, which is more or less premium.
So how do you maintain the communication when he has some questions inside virtual reality?
So yeah, actually that is a point. We are actually working on a chatbot within the museum. So it's like a virtual, it's equivalent to a guide which is available in the museum right now. So we are working on the chatbot where you can say if you have a question about a particular art, you can ask it and it will give you answers. So that completes the whole journey from IRL to metaverse. So you have all the equivalents that you have IRL in the metaverse.
So is it a chatbot or you can directly chat with the person who has created?
No, it's a chatbot. You basically with the chat interface you can connect it with the actual user itself. But the frequently asked questions you can just program into the chatbot. If the chatbot faces a new question, you can it will send a message to the artist who created it.
Thank you very much.